Hey guys, welcome to Banter Blitz. This time quite late, well, at least according to European time. So let's see if I can do it in general. I mean, I know that some years ago it started with exactly late Friday night Banter Blitz shows. But, well, I'm not getting younger, only older, and, well, Zil says no sound. Is it really that? That's interesting. Maybe. What about now? Is it better? uh, Will be an honor, says Kenny. Bogdan says it is. Zil says no, my mistake. Okay, so I guess everything's fine, more or less, right? Anyway, what I wanted to do is actually to get to playing chess as fast as possible because, as I said, it's getting late and this may affect the quality of my play, which is probably good news for you guys, right? Nevertheless, so let's have a look. There are a few challenges already, and just as usual, I want to pick up several I've never ever played before. So here is one guy from Argentina. We have never played, so I'll accept that challenge first. Playing with black pieces here, 5-minute game. And my opponent is already quite strong, so 2600s. It's gonna be challenging. Alright, let's play. Kenny says, never played. Alright. Most likely you will be chosen for, maybe not exactly for the next game, but in the nearest future. I mean, so first 3 games are usually against people I've never ever played before. So what do we have here? We have Italian, a slow Italian. I usually respond with this system. Alright, a6 was a preparation of bishop a7. But now white played bishop to e3. I'm just wondering if I can do something like bishop to e7. I know it's not typical here. But I want to keep my bishop. And I want to try to use that one on e3 somehow. For example, after castling, I guess I'm ready to play d5. Let's do it now. That's the thing. So that's what I was trying to do. So the bishop on e3 had no space to go away. And after this exchange, I mean, I have a pair of bishops. Now I think I'm simply better. If I'm not mistaken, should be just better for me. Okay, how to use it. So bishop to g4 comes to mind. Another option is just to play e4 here. Well, I'm not sure. So if I play e4, there is probably c4. Then my queen is forced somewhere to f5, which is not that bad, actually. I mean, I'm fine there as well. Yeah, let's just play e4. Why not? Grabbing some space, preparing simple play on the king side. Because now everything is defined. Black has a majority on the king side, white has a majority on the queen side. So both sides will try to push pawns there. So I will try to do something like f5, f4. Okay, white decided not to play c4. So it's a bit passive to me. It looks a bit passive. Not sure, maybe I'm overestimating my position. Still, I would have played it differently if I were white, but okay. Let's try to understand what to do now. Maybe something simple like f5, why not, right? Aha, this way. Okay. Well, I should have predicted something like that, right? It's very obvious that white may want to play something like that. All right, now I'm not really satisfied with my light squared bishop, so Let's make sure that our bishop gets enough space here. It does. So, what is next? Now, good question, where to put my bishop. So both f6 and d6 don't promise a lot. But I think since white is going to play some like c4, it makes more sense to put this bishop on f6. So whenever white plays some like c4, there will be d4 as a target for me. If white plays some like c4 followed by d5, okay, that bishop will occupy exactly the diagonal it should occupy. Yeah, obviously I want to keep my bishop on the board. Again, the question is where to put it right now. It's not so obvious. Let's put it on d7 for now. I'm not really satisfied with the way I'm playing this game, actually. It's definitely not smooth. It's far from being smooth. So my pieces are definitely not placed on best squares here. For example, now what to do? Not sure. Let's just put the bishop on e7. So I want to keep my bishops, that's the thing. And white is actually using it in a very good way. Just making natural moves, improving the position little by little. But I'm also doing something useful, I believe. For example, now there is this pin. Maybe it's not very dangerous for white. Queen to b3, and if I take on e4, there is rook takes c4. Ouch! I thought it would be already something. But no. I'm not winning anything here. Nice. Yeah, let's take it anyway. It's not an e4 is super annoying. Can we do something with this piece? I'm not sure. At least not right now. Okay, so let's just prepare g5, g4, this stuff. Also, if at some point my bishop will be attacked with knight to h4, my bishop will have this h7 square. Something like that comes to my mind right now. Let's just do... Oh, bishop takes b4 was possible. Ouch! I'm just blundering already in the first game. This is bad. Really bad sign. That goes there. Okay. What to do now? Let's just go back to c8. Only 1 minute on the clock. It's getting really challenging now. Yeah, and I'm really not satisfied with my position. Rook e2. Alright, we can go back to a bit more active position then. Rook e1. That goes to... Oh, God. My kids are also quite loud right now. Anyway, everything looks like a lame excuse, so we just have to play it faster. That's the thing we can do here. The only thing that comes to my mind now, just to play it fast. Well, our knight on b8 is terrible, but everything else looks not so bad. Is there any chance white will take my bishop? No, I don't think so. Alright. But anyway, let's see where it leads. We can think of playing some like knight e7, knight e5. First, I want to clarify the things with the rooks. I mean, should be okay now. Now, something like that should be also fine. Although we cannot take this pawn on d5 like next move because of knight c7 fork. But we can prepare it, right? So something like king d7 or king e7 just protecting the pawn on d6 in advance, and also going away from, I have no idea, going away from that fork will be just fine, I think. Okay. Now we're ready to take on d5. And we're doing this. If knight goes to d8, it's kind of trapped there. Well, almost trapped, which is good. What we should do here is just to deal with that bishop somehow, and we can win that knight even. Well, if that is not something that is going to happen, then we have simple plan of h5, g4. Like this, for example. Alright, 95. Followed by h4 check, I think. Which is nice. Yeah, I could have played it better than this, of course. Alright. We're still doing great, I think, with black. Okay. So what's the plan? Just to keep on rolling here, I think. Yeah, like... Yeah, doesn't give me what I wanted. I guess it's a draw now. Yeah, it's a draw. All right. So that was exciting at the end. Of course, at some point my position became winning, but for some reason I didn't win it. For example, here I think I missed something simple, I believe. Well, yeah, a3 was just not correct. By the way, after a3, white could have captured with the knight, right? And then it's just an immediate draw, all right? So a3 was completely wrong. So instead of playing that, I should have tried, for example, king a1. Just a way to move. I mean, not necessarily king a1. Maybe something like bishop to d3, attacking the knight. And then just b3, a3, b2, and stuff like that, all right? So, yeah. So Prom Knight asks, just keep the pawn on b3. He had only 2 seconds, right? I didn't notice that. I thought that I was also in a severe time trouble. But okay. Okay, so nevertheless, interesting game. Interesting game. Thanks for that. Well, I already feel like, you know, this late starting time affects my play. Anyway, let's search for someone I've never played before. So Kenny, exactly, accept. Whew. Okay, now at least we're playing with white pieces, right? And French defense. Challenge in opening. So the next move will be a3, attacking the bishop. I love having pair of bishops. And in French defense, I like having the dark squared bishop on the board, although it looks a bit stupid, being limited with own pawns, but if you play it right, at some point it becomes really active. A really important piece in the sense of attack on the king side. That's why I try not to exchange it, like at all. Okay, bishop d3 was a bit strange. cd4 was possible. Probably nothing special, like cd4, cd4, knight e4, there is at least queen g4, attacking both g7 and d4, but anyway. A slightly strange choice for me, you know, to put the bishop on d3 there. Alright, now let's just put the knight on f3. We have this typical plan based on g4 at some point, then f5. Everything is simple. And now I think you understand why I played this a4 move, just to have a 3 square for my bishop. And that's why I protected c3 with the queen now, because I believe my bishop will have a better diagonal there. So normally, if black plays queen a5 early enough, then bishop d2 is being played. In many cases, it's just forced. Well, here there is nothing to command. Black just blundered a piece for nothing. So I guess the game is decided already. But even without that sacrifice, I mean, without that blunder, black's position was, in my opinion, already quite dubious. Because white is doing nothing wrong here. White is doing everything which is programmatic for French defense, just the preparation of the attack on the king side, with the help of pawns, with the help of f5, undermining the basis of the pawn chain, and just grabbing more and more space. Bishop is going to a3 to, you know, just control that diagonal. Maybe it will stay even here. I mean, if black normally moves the knight here, then maybe f5 is not immediately possible, but after some prep, like castling, moving the knight somewhere, maybe to h4, maybe to e1, I don't know, then f5, at the right moment, maybe f6, then, well, it feels like white is much faster here than black on the king side. But anyway, of course, knight h4 simplified my task here a lot. Next one, let's have a look. Almost everyone has at least one game against me. I'm searching for the third one I've never ever played before. There is no one at the moment. So I'll just come back to accepting challenges one by one. So Zurian 77 is the next one. And I'm playing with white pieces this time. It's probably Sicilian, if I'm not, no. You know, I'm trying to remember the opening preferences of my frequent opponents. But sometimes, you know, they change, simply. Sometimes I just fail to memorize them. For some reason, I think that Zurian used to play Sicilian, but I might be wrong completely. I have no idea. So, knight at g5, attacking f7. Waiting for blacks. Oh, castling again. I still don't know what is the right reaction to castling here. So normally there is e6, queen f3, and then if castling, then there is immediate queen h3 and stuff. Here if we play queen f3, there is d5. And against d5, of course, normally you want to play something like f4 here. Of course I can play f4 now, but I guess it's lame a bit. h4 is very interesting here. But I still believe that e6 should be the right move. So the main line is e6 against knight g5. And queen goes to e7 against queen f3, and so on and so forth. So now, well, black's position, in my opinion, is quite annoying, but there are many looking players that prefer things like this. Because yes, it's risky, but if white doesn't use it the proper way, then black will also have some chances. Okay, let's just bring the knight there. That's what I usually do. The knight to h6 looks nice. Followed by some stuff like, I don't know, h4, h5 is possible. d5 is looking amazing. I don't know. Let's try d5 here. Just making sure that bishop will never, ever get a chance to use this c8, h3 diagonal at very least. Just c4. Okay. This pawn is still there. I can easily protect it with the knight to c3 move, so no problems with that whatsoever. Let's just bring the knight to c3 then. And bishop to c2. I want to keep this bishop on the board because I still believe I have great chances to attack. Like h4, h5 now. Looks pretty attractive to me. Like a simple plan of attack. Alright. Okay. a6 doesn't look very fast, so let's go h4, h5. No, it cannot be good for black, right? So position looks just bad, very bad actually. To me, it's just lost actually, already here. So I can even play bishop e3 now, and if bishop takes, then bishop takes c5, and if dc5, then queen d3. And how to protect h7? Can also just play knight f7, I guess, if there is an exchange sacrifice. Okay, I'm fine with that as well. It's just extra material for nothing. Now let's just include this h6 to move the bishop to f8, to force the bishop to f8, sorry, not to move. Black moves the bishop there. And just bishop e3, right? So. And now what? Queen to d4. Well, yes. Why not? Preparing castling long, preparing f4, stuff like that. Just playing active chess. Trying to deliver a checkmate or something. And g takes f4. Alright, now it's important not to miss some simple tactics. Yeah, let's just take with the bishop, you know. Queen f4 was also absolutely okay, I guess, but I suppose this is a bit better. e5, I didn't expect that at all. Again, probably just because it's too late for me to calculate stuff like that, but it shouldn't be dangerous. I don't feel like it's dangerous. Anyway. Everything is under control here. I simply have much more active pieces here than black, so black's pieces are not ready to do anything significant in my camp. A d5. Alright, so my king on f2 is a bit vulnerable for now, so I should be really careful, but I think we still have time. And checkmate is not the only way to win the game, right? So we can always just simplify stuff if we want. How to do that, though? So what I wanted to try is just to go away from that diagonal. Okay, now I can take on b6, right? I can do that. Is it good, though? I mean, it's extra rook. It's unnecessary risk. Maybe I'm blundering something, but for now it feels like I'm a rook up. Alright, just king f4. So what? Yeah, I have a king on f4, but who cares? I control everything, right? Feels like that, at least. Okay, d4 is just bishop b3, and black is done for this guy. Game over. Alright, so there was a comment, a nice one, about queen f3. What was it? Let me just scroll a bit up. Queen f3, f5 plan seemed better than knight to f7 check. Well, let's have a look at that moment. So when I played e6, It's move number 8. There was no chance for me to play queen f3, f5. Maybe it was a bit later, like here, presumably. Oh, maybe here. Okay. Now I see what you mean. Yeah, as I've mentioned, I also considered this move, just bishop e3, with a similar idea, just to take on c5, and then to play queen to d3, but here comes f5, right? That's why you suggest playing queen f3, f5 instead. Okay, let's have a look. Queen f3, bishop takes h6, queen f5, then rook f7. E takes f7, bishop takes f5. F takes c8, rook takes c8, bishop takes f5. What is this? It's extra rook for white, so it doesn't work for black. So I believe after e takes f7, queen takes f7 is forced, in which case white is again an exchange up, right? So I guess in this case, everything's fine. I mean, it's the same thing. Same material relationship compared to our game, I guess. So, as for the rest, I believe it's just a bad line for black. So just play e6, play the main one, and you're going to be fine. Okay, thanks for the game. The next one is envelope. 3 minutes. Okay, accept that one. And I'm playing with white pieces again. Zil says, I think Andrey reads all the chats and interacts a lot. Yes, I do read chat. Or maybe I'm not talking a lot during each and every game and between the games, but I mean, compared to what I've done before, I don't know. Hard to say. Things are changing, actually. I'm changing. The way I interact with people during my shows also changes. So, I mean, well, I don't remember the theory here, like, at all. But I guess we can do something strange right now. Rook g1. Asking the bishop to go away. Or take on f3, giving me a pair of bishops. I like it. I told you that many, many times. I love pair of bishops, so. Yeah, I mean, probably castling is also fine for white. And there is no danger after this sacrifice in h3, but you should know the theory there, and I just forgot it, so I decided not to risk it. That's why I decided to play rook to g1. Just to get rid of that shit altogether. Right now, I have a feeling that we can do various things. Like, what about b7? It should be a bit vulnerable, right? Let's just go there. I'm not against this simplification. Feels like we are just having much better ending with pair of bishops and this pressure on the queen side already. Okay, nice. I love my position. Let's just grab space there. Now, who cares that I didn't castle? We're very close to the ending stage, which means my king will be just fine in the center or something. Okay, so let's just step back, because I've done everything to have pair of bishops. Would be stupid to give it up right now. After b5, everything is kind of vulnerable in black's camp, especially light squares, so let's try to do something on light squares. I have a feeling that we are already winning some sort of a pawn, maybe Because if knight takes on e3, I take with a pawn, then I don't see how to prevent the loss of exchange. That knight on c6 will be pinned and under attack. Which means black has no time to take on e3 or move the knight away. So rook d8 is forced, in which case we're just taken there, then taken on c7. And that is exactly the pawn I was talking about. Extra pawn now. In addition to what we had before. Pair of bishops. And simply, yeah, nice position. Well, I should have played bishop g3. In that case, rook takes a6 would have been possible. But we're already a pawn up, so I'm not that greedy to have regrets about the missed possibility to grab that pawn on a6 or something. So casting long was suggested. Yes, but I think my rook is logically placed on a1, right? To attack that a6 pawn. Now we can grab this one. So black's rook was already slightly overloaded. A knight to what? d8? Is it possible? Well, it is, but it's super ugly. Alright, so we're close, I think. Very close. So bishop c6 would have been a move winning what? An exchange, but it doesn't work here. So let's just play rook a2. Rook to a1 and then just grab the pawn on a6. I am completely satisfied with that one. Now I think we can do this move. Forcing the rook to d7. Then I'm just going to go away with the bishop. Now I don't see how to protect a6, so everything is kind of, yeah, very bad here. Now bishop c6 wins the exchange. No surprises to me, actually, because lots of light squared weaknesses. I had a light squared bishop which had no counterpart, sorry, right from the start when black captured on f3. So black should have been very careful about light squares in general. And this b5 move was, in my opinion, a terrible mistake. Just weakening everything which was on the light square. I mean, everything I could have potentially attacked, but without much success, right? After b5 became super accessible, like the knight on c6, the knight on d5, pawn on c7, pawn on a6, just one move, which actually destroyed everything. But in general, I mean, this position is already quite pleasant for white, but it's far from being winning. I think after b5, white is simply winning. So something like bishop g5 deserved attention to try to, you know, prevent me from playing knight to e3 and maybe intending something like knight f4, bishop f4 a bit later. I guess was an interesting thing. All right, so 3 games against guys I've never played before. Or, no, there were only 2. But nevertheless, so Bogdan is the next. Except, yeah, we got back to normal order of challenges, right? Okay. d4, knight f6, c4, e6. Okay, so something closed. Probably a Catalan. No. There will be just one of these minor lines. The question is how to handle it. So let's try c5 in this case. And I'm playing a 3-minute game. That's very important. Let me win. Thanks a lot for this notice. Because indeed, there's no much time for me to speak. I just have to play faster. Otherwise, I will be flagged. Which happened not once. And this shows. So, yeah. Let's just be slightly more, you know, efficient in making decisions in this game. Not wasting time on bullshit. Just making moves. That makes sense, right? Well, I hope that makes sense. All right, rook e8. What's the idea behind this? It's just to play this move. And now my knight has e7 square, and then it can go to g6. It is a good defensive stuff because white is going to attack me. Normally bishop goes to b1 and queen is on d3, knight is on e5, super active, and there is a problem with the h7. So what I'm trying to do, I try to make sure I will always have sort of knight e7, knight g6, or knight f5 maneuver. That's the one thing. Another one is g6, bishop g7, also interesting thing to try here. Okay, knight takes c4, which means now we have an isolated pawn on d4. Unfortunately, we cannot grab it like right now, but we have a nice d5 square in front of it, just as usual for this type of position. So and yeah, everything looks prepared here, so everything is super solid. I like my position for now. It's quite flexible. This knight on e5 is indeed very annoying, but okay. No one said it would be like super simple for black or something. Okay, so what we have to care about is our f7, right? So let's just play rook c7, protecting this f7 and the bishop on b7 at the same time. Maybe even preparing some like queen to a8, and then another rook to c8, and then b5, and then counterplay along the c file. So it's a multi-purpose move, so to say. Queen goes to g3. All right, rook on c7 is protected, so I'm fine with that. g7 is protected. Everything is under control, it seems. Yeah, so let's just go queen a8, and then another rook to c8 as planned. Also exerting some pressure on g2, not direct, of course, at the moment. Reminds me of the game Gavrikov against Yusupov, I suppose. Well, there was a different pattern, of course, but yeah, it just looks familiar anyway. Let's take that one, just to make sure our rook is not hanging on c7 or something. It's no longer needed there, because f7 is not really attacked. So I feel like some simplification will be good for black. Typical thing when you play against an isolated pawn. Still don't see direct threats on the king side, so it feels like everything is under control. All right, one more piece goes away from the board, which is good. Now I think it's a good idea for me to put the knight on f6 to make sure h7 is under control. And also put my bishop on d5 maybe. Will be a nice change of roles at some point. Okay, what to do with this knight on e5? That's a good question. For now, let's just put the bishop on d5. And maybe another one to g7. Like this. Okay. Now our knight can go back to d5, I guess. Looks good to me. Position is being more and more simplified, which is great. And d4 is just our target. Simple prey, I would say. Now there are some additional weaknesses there. Yeah, so black outplayed white here, I think, gradually. So position was pretty much balanced for a long time, but if white fails to create real threats on the king side, have an isolated pawn, then the result is like this. So only white has a weakness, and black is gradually getting better and better. All right. Okay. Thanks for the game. Nice experience. Blunder Panda is the next. Let's see who's gonna blunder in this game. The Panda or me? And Sicilian. So the first Sicilian today, I think. That's great. I don't know why, but I'm really happy when I see a Sicilian on the board, because this is exciting. I mean, the open Sicilian. Everything else is just bullshit, to be honest. So. Typical thing. Not even calculating here, so it's a well-known sacrifice of the minor piece for 3 pawns like that. It's just lost for black, I guess. Or maybe I'm just overestimating the position because there is knight to e4, I have just noticed. Oh shit. No, it cannot be good. Knight e4, queen h5, I think it's anyway. If not immediately lost, but then just very, very close to. Okay, so how to win this? Knight takes d6 comes to mind, but it's probably too greedy, so I'll just put that knight on h6 for now. Then castling and then just a pawn storm, right? That's the plan. Yeah, just castling to start with, to make our knight on c3 like free to go somewhere. And to take that bishop or to play f3, that's a good question. Let's play it positionally. Let's just play f3 here. It's possible, of course, to grab that bishop, but I think we're good here either way. So f4 now? Yeah, I guess it's time for f4. Now let's just take that one. Okay. So bishop d4, rook to e1, and then e5 at the right moment. Yeah, I guess I could have played it better, but it's not always that simple. I mean, it's a famous motive of the sacrifice on e6 in Fischer, Sawzin stuff. But it's not always, you know, that straightforward. Probably sometimes you're just playing for long-term compensation, because indeed you have tremendous material compensation right from the start of this story, and yeah, just the king is bad, and yeah, many factors, in other words. Right. Let's focus. What's going on here? Bishop h3. Okay, we can just play rook f2. I think it's fine. Or maybe we should just care a bit and play into h1 to prevent that altogether. Yeah, I guess it's not a terrible idea to do that. Rook to c8. Okay, rook to e1. That's what I wanted to do anyway. Oh, what's happening? Am I blundering something? No, I don't think so. Everything is under control, it seems. So the idea was to play bishop e2, I think, but after rook to e1, it's not possible anymore. Yeah, so now we have 3 pawns and the rook against 2 minor pieces, which is quite pleasant, I would say. So we should finish the game with the direct attack, but the question is, what kind of attack? So bishop f6 and queen d6 becomes possible. Well, it was possible for a long time, right? I just didn't notice that for some reason. Well, now maybe it's a good time to try it. Like bishop f6, queen d6 looks... Yeah, it looks too good to avoid. All right. Yeah, my only problem is g2, I think. Since I've captured the knight and prevented black from playing knight to g4 attack in h2, so g2 looks like the only object of attack for black now. But again, I mean, doesn't feel like I have problems protecting it. There are so many different things I can try now. Let's play e5, for example. I even have some ideas like queen b8 check followed by queen takes b7, protecting g2, so it shouldn't be that problematic for me to protect in general. Right now I wanted to give this check. If king e7, I take on b7 with check. Again, looks amazing for white. From knight says bishop pair for black. I don't think it it is that important here, but probably it was a joke. So f5 followed by e6 now, and then maybe even e7, right? Or it's too much, or just rook to d1. What is the right thing to do here? Because rook to d1 is just good enough, attacking the bishop on d8. f5, bishop f5, e6, then queen somewhere, attacking g2. That's why I didn't play that, but I will regret now, I guess, because g2 is under attack. Shit. Didn't notice that one. Okay, now I have to play rook f2, right? Well, it's still defendable, I hope. And by the way, after f5, bishop to d5 was still possible, right? So I'm not sure what's the right way to play it. I think we're fine here. I don't see anything. So bishop g2, rook g2, then on d8, the bishop is heading and it's a checkmate threat. So couldn't work. Rook to g2 doesn't work either, so I don't know. Queen e6, what about c4 now? What's going on? So what about c4? Bishop g2, rook g2 wins. What else? Rook g2, just even cd5. Yeah, c4 should be good enough. Rook g2, queen g8 was suggested. Yeah, then just rook d2 protecting the rook. Oh, that's fine. So that g2 is absolutely defendable. And rook takes d5 after that, was also possible, by the way. Der Henker says it all, by the way, on chat. That's why I'm not, you know, annotating a lot. Because other guys are very good at it, right? Well, now I think we can just take on d5 with the rook. And if queen takes f2, then queen d8, king f7, queen f6 check, and then checkmate on d8. So everything is forced. There is no way for black to avoid it. Here we go. Okay. So I think it was useful to repeat the thing. I mean, the sacrifice on e6. So several people says that queen g4, so probably that's about what? If we talk about this position, there is no queen g4, right? So this is probably about queen to, after c4, queen to g4 here. Well, I'm just taking on d5 with the rook, so what? What's wrong? I think white is just winning, right? What kind of queen g4 you're talking about? Rook g2 here, rook g2, queen g4, still rook takes d5, right? Yeah, so it still wins for white. And if we talk about this position, there is no queen g4 at all. Like, no chance. So I think c4 just wins. All right? Okay. Let's continue. Let's continue. By the way, prom knight is the next. Accept the challenge. And I'm playing with black pieces, so probably e4. Yep. And once again, the Scotch stuff, I believe. No, bishop b5 this time. Ruy Lopez. All right, an exchange for Ruy Lopez. Very good. Oh. Well, this thing is not dangerous for black, I guess. Thing is, white doesn't have d5 square, so I didn't play c5 to get this ending. That's why I believe it's a wrong version for white in general. Okay. So should I play bishop b4? Yeah, why not? Just forcing the knight to e2. I mean, knight d4 to e2. Otherwise, it's hard to protect e4 and keep the pawn structure intact. And if white plays knight to e2, all right, I have knight f6, I have f5. I think f5 is more like in the spirit of the position, so let's do it. Yeah, so according to chat, people just heard the sound from the other room, so to say. So yeah, that's my kid making some noise. Indeed. And Der Hanker says, what's the King's Indian got to do with this? Oh yeah. Sometimes I think that chess players are the craziest group on this planet. Now I think we can just take there and play c5. Why not? Pawn on c2 is capturable, so our pawn on c5 as well, though. Oh, stupid me. All right, I will just protect on c5 because I think what will have more troubles protecting that c2 compared to what? Compared to the situation when I take on c2 and white takes on c5, in which case position is just balanced. I think now we should be fine. More than fine, even, I would say. It's very pleasant position for black, indeed. All right. Of course, I will prevent a5 and fix the pawn on the light square, which is great now. My bishop has access to both a4 and c2. That's amazing. Zil says he actually regrets missing your show, Andrey. No, I don't think so. All right, knight to e1. Happy to see this. It says that we're doing everything correctly. c4, now the third pawn, and I can grab it immediately. Like bishop f7 already wins a pawn. Rook e4 wins that pawn. I think rook e4 is the right way to grab it. Let's go it. Let's go there for that pawn. c2 is under attack. Yeah, it's lost for white now. Just lost. Knight e5, rook c2. Two extra pawns. Two extra pawns, and look at our pawns on the queen side. They are placed correctly to make that bishop quite passive. Okay, let's just simplify the thing. I think we can grab another one. Like this, just rook h4, going for a4 pawn now. Everyone is dropping pawns today, says Zeal. No, I'm just collecting them. I'm just collecting them today. I'm not missing a single one. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so what's the plan? Just to bring pawns to motion at some point. Sorry. First, yeah, it's not that bad to centralize a king or something to support the movement. Anyway, it should be useful, right? The knight on d5 is great, is amazing, just controlling stuff. I think it's time for us to bring this one a bit closer to promotion square. All right. Let's bring the king closer. We can even bring it to d4 if we want. If we want to, and we do want to do that. I love it, having a king like this. So. Okay. They are connected now. Connected guys here. Has nothing to do with Connecticut. c5, I think, with the idea of rook a2 checkmate, and here comes the checkmate. Here we go. So you once checkmated me, prom knight. Now it's my turn, okay? So, all right. So a few words about the exchanged rook opus you have played in this game. So everything was fine, but up to d4, well, d4 is not a good move. So just castle first and then play d4. Or at least play knight to c3 first and then d4. So the thing is, in the version like this, the difference is that normally you will have this typical ending with black's pawn already on c5, which means you have d5 square to occupy with your knight, for example. Here I don't have this weakness, which means I'm much more flexible here. And as you may notice, I didn't spend time on playing f6, just protecting e5 like in the main line, which means I'm kind of having a tempo more compared to normal situation. Which makes this version, at very least, not really promising for white. Sometimes, as you can see, black is just getting superior position with, you know, no problems at all. Like, simple stuff. I'm just make supernatural moves. Not supernatural, just very natural, okay? Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Very natural moves, and all of a sudden, I'm having something to attack, while white is just doing nothing here in this position, right? Okay? So, just a wrong order of moves, and, you know, the idea is correct to play d4, but first castling, forcing black to play something like f6, then d4. That is the right way to play it, in my opinion, okay? So, supernatural moves. Crazy. Okay. Onam is the next, except. And I'm playing with white pieces. I think last time the game against Onam never happened, never started. So let's see if Onam is online this time. Doesn't look like that. That's a pity. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Abort. Sorry. Next one. Hannes Hetzner. And we have played once already, and I lost. So accept. This is gonna be interesting. Just yeah, let's see. Okay, so Karkan. And 3 minutes as well, so we should play fast. We should play fast here. But not super fast. Ah, okay, this line. Let me remember what's going on there. I'll be not able to remember. But I think h3 is a playable move here. After d takes c5, there is for some reason something like knight takes c5. So the h3, the idea is that if bishop goes away, there's d takes c5. Okay, I'm not going to explain that because it's just too hard for me right now. Right, knight to a5. Let's just step back, right? What? What? Okay. So it's just an exchange, but a bit strange to me anyway. Because now we're at least having a better pawn structure, right? Well, yeah, let's just put the knight on d2 first. Let's see what's going on here. I want to control f3 here. The idea is simple. Then knight to f3 and castling short. Okay, so we're indeed having a slightly better pawn structure here, but is it enough to get anything? I'm not sure. Maybe it's just slightly better. The question is... Yeah, okay, our bishop is a bit better as well, which is good. Should we try bishop b5 here? I'm wondering to get this e5 square, or it's going to be too much probably. No, I guess. Let's just play rook e2 and another rook to e1. Bishop d1. Probably it's well-known thing already for this system. It's kind of developing. Okay, so just king f1. Okay, everything is under control here, I guess. So we're having a slightly better pawn structure, but again, I'm sure it's just not enough for getting anything. The bishops are not of the same color. It's not a big deal, of course, but still just the fact that increases this drawish chances. Should we play something like that? Also not sure, but it's getting worse for white, I think. It's getting worse. After knight e4, I think we have queen c2. If queen c3, bishop e4, queen a1, king e2 takes. Oh, it's absolutely unclear. But I think it's better than taking on e4 at least. Yeah, super tactical shit. I don't remember how I lost my previous game to this guy, but now I see a clear way to do that. Like, it's possible to lose to this guy. He's super sharp. So pawn on b5 being exchanged for the pawn on c3. Maybe I should have played c4 instead. I don't know. Now this knight is kind of, well, no, it's just fine. I mean, this knight should be just fine. Okay, what to do next? I don't know. Let's just exchange that knight. It's really annoying. Like this, probably. Should be a draw or something, I guess. Okay, so we have extra something, right? But no time on the clock, like at all. Maybe I was flagged last time. I don't remember, actually. This is also a valid way to win the game, actually. Oh shit, that's how I lost the previous game, I think. I was flagged. And this one as well. Oh god, I hate to lose the game like this, you know, when you're absolutely winning. But alright, it's a valid way to win the game against me, alright? So. And I'm below 3,000. Super annoying. Okay, next one. God damn it. But I'm not that far away, right? 29.8. Of course, I'm not going to come back during this episode of Training Tuesday. But so what's going on here? I'm playing something that is not typical for me whatsoever. Just wondering if I'm doing the right thing here. So we have Catalanian pawn structure. Feels like a good version for white. Okay, this is typical thing. So if I take on c6, is it good or bad? I think we're not achieving anything there, because we'll have a lot of light squared weaknesses, so knight c6 is absolutely valid here. I'm going just to put my knight on f3 to protect d4 and prepare castling. Well, let's just castle. Playing it safe. So after all, we have good pawn center, sorry. This pawn on d4 looks nice. Now this queen on a5 looks great. Normally in Catalan, when you have a dark squared bishop on the board, the bishop is aiming to that square. In this particular case, the queen replaced it. So now I guess something like knight e5 should guarantee a stable advantage. I was so close in the previous game, but probably too slow. All right, never mind. Professional is to forget about that game and just focus on the rest of the games here. Knight to c6 now. Now we have a lot to attack. e6, a6. So if rook to b6, then we can take on d5. We can at least consider that option. I think rook takes b6 simply is a better choice anyway. Rook e8. So now we can take on a6 if we want with the rook. It's a bit ugly looking. Still a possibility, right? Or we can take on d5 and take on c7. Or we can take too many different options here. I'm not sure which one is the best. Let's just put the rook on c1 right now, exerting some pressure on c7. So whenever the knight goes away from d5, we can easily take there. So maybe we'll play it slowly, like e3 protecting d4, then bishop d5, then take on c7. Maybe even a3 creating sort of queen a6, because immediate queen a6 was not good in the view of knight to b4. Oh, god damn it. Oh, by the way, it's not the last banter this week with me. I mean, tomorrow there will be one more. You can just check the schedule. So if for some reason you don't get the game today, you'll be granted another option, another possibility tomorrow. What's going on? d4 is under attack, right? That's the problem. That's the only problem. So let's just protect it. It's too important to give it up. So again, everything is under control. We're not in a rush. Black has several weaknesses. We are attacking a6, e6, and c7. That's just good enough for us, right? We don't have to force the things here because, you know, strategically we're much better. So only black is here to search for some opportunities, some tactics and stuff. We're here just to eliminate opponent's chances and at some point win the pawn and then the game. That's it. That's the plan. So now what? What I wanted to try here was... No, I think it's just time to take there, right? Why not, after all? Let's just grab a pawn. b5, e6 are still under serious pressure. So black is having hard times here, I believe. We can create a passer in the A file, which is amazing against the knight, I suppose. Of course, if our opponent gives us a chance to do something like that. Now, how to continue the attack? Something like queen to c4 comes to my mind. Okay, so there is this problem with knight to e2 fork, but since the knight is on c3, we can play this typical thing, a4. So even though black played b4, I managed to create a passer on the rook file, which is amazing. It's especially great since we have this bishop controlling a8 square, but it's also just a nightmare for the knights, normally. So now the easiest way to win this may be simply, I don't know, just support it from behind and push it up to a8, I guess. Also going away from that shitty fork on e2, so that our queen can just go to c6, let's say, if we want to. Do we want? Not sure. I don't see anything wrong with just pushing our pawn. Boom, boom, boom. 3 moves, and that's a queen. 1, 2. It's a queen already. Yeah. E takes d4. I think the best is just to ignore it and play a8 immediately. Yeah, it's a queen just for 1 move, but still, it's a queen. Now what? What is our plan here? Maybe there should be no plan, just, I don't know. Just win the game somehow. What is the best way to do that, I mean? Just f takes there, I guess. After queen to d2, there will be just 1 threat, I think. Or, okay, queen e5 is another option. Let's just be passive for, I don't know, 1 move or 2. We're up a rook after all, right? I think we're just exchanging queens here and it's over. Should be over. Well, I have 1 minute here. I'm not going to lose it on time, I think. What's going on here? Let's just prevent c4, I suppose. Like take there, take there. And 1. Okay. So, nice try, but I have a feeling that I had a better position right from the start. So for some reason, I guess already here, it's kind of quite annoying for black. I mean, it's not lost, obviously, but I just have a feeling that we have exchanged the pieces that white wanted to exchange, not black. For some reason, white is just controlling everything here. The whole complex, not only this long diagonal, which is always a dream for a Catalanian player, to have this diagonal open and to have this amazing bishop here just exerting this long-term pressure, but also dark squares. If you look at this position, you know, a bit longer, you'll see that black doesn't have a normal access to dark squares here with the queen, while white has it, and this probably defines the advantage of white. A long-term advantage already here. Okay. All right. Let us continue. And I think Green at TSE is the 3 minute 2600s. Are you kidding me? After the previous game, super challenge. Oh my god. You want to kill me, right? That's what you're going to do. And it's like almost midnight here in Europe. So I know you're probably a young talent. I'm an old fuck here. So, to be completely honest, I mean. So it's just a big problem for me to play a game like this. Alright, never mind. Let's fight. Let's fight. So at least we have a better pawn structure here and a better development, right? So. Rook is going to e1. e6 will be our target for long. Okay. Knight f5. Stop this bullshit, Andrey. Just focus on the position. Because it's so simple to blunder something rather quickly. You're not an old anything, says Zeal. I am for chess. I mean, it's already like an age to stop completely. A good age to stop completely. So. For normal life, of course, I'm still fine, but for chess, I think it's already the beginning of the end. Okay, so we have a long-term pressure in this e6, but it's sort of only problem in Black's camp for now. We should find some other weakness there. Otherwise, it will be impossible to win. That's the thing. Maybe Black will create the one himself. What about knight e5 check now? Into c7. Not quite sure. Maybe I'm missing something simple. Knight e5, e5, rook on e8 is protected as well. Doesn't work. Okay, but g5 is potentially the weakness I'm talking about. So let's make sure it doesn't go away anywhere. Alright, g6. So it's close now. It's really close to getting something tangible. What about playing b3, c4? Is it a good idea? I'm not sure, but we can try. Rook there. All right. Now back to c2. To attack e6. Okay, only 1 minute on the clock. Come on. I'm going to be flagged in this game as well. But we're winning the pawn on e6 now, I believe. Because knight e5, d5 wins a lot. So black has to go away. Takes there, takes there. That is what I wanted to do here. Now rook e5 attacking the pawn on d5. Now here. Okay, I'm playing fast, but not sure that I'm making the best moves. Could have played a bit better, but even this looks nice to me. So d takes c5, that goes away. We take on d5, but then attack b6. Looks great. So 2 extra pawns, I suppose, which is a good result. No, not 2. And e5 is gonna fail here. Only 1, right? Okay. But for the knight ending, it's just good enough because knight endings are like king and pawn endings. Should be technically winning position. The only way for me not to win this is just as usual to demonstrate super idiotic technique or something. Yeah, for instance, like that. But fortunately, g2 is protected. Nice. Okay. For some reason, we're still material up here. All right. Yep. So. But we're short on time here. That's a big problem. Only 22 seconds. I don't want to be flagged in this game. But I'm doing everything to be flagged, actually. All right. Just doing everything to be flagged. Ah, shit. Okay. My goodness, that is so stupid, alright? King e6, knight c7, winning b5. What was that? Yeah, it was absolutely winning position for me, and yeah, I just did everything not to win it. Oh my god. So stupid. So there was... What was that? Oh, okay, after b5, e6, knight c7, and knight takes b5. Nice prom knight. Correct. Just knight c7 and knight takes b5. Correct. Correct. Okay. So, another loss. I mean, it was a draw, but it feels like a loss. Having such a big advantage. But anyway. A good game. And Caro-Kann, okay, everyone is playing Caro-Kann against me. Because it scores well, right? Just scores well. Okay. Is it a theory? I think so. But what about 95? I don't remember actually. What's going on here usually? So let's just play normal moves. It's enough for, you know, adventures in this episode. Just enough, okay? I've had enough. Let's just play natural moves. Not supernatural, just natural. Now I'm wondering if I take on b7. What's that? Is it just a free pawn or something? I think so. Or maybe I'm just blundering something. But after knight e5, I take with the pawn, attacking the queen, and then knight. At the very least, I will have time to go away with the queen, so it's not being trapped. And now the knight on c6 is hanging. So if rook b8, I just take on c6 with the queen. If knight a5, I just play queen b4, which is super annoying because the queen b4, c b4, the knight is forced to b7 or something. So it's really bad. Well, at least at first glance. Very bad for black. But we will see. So usually it's impossible to take on b7 when, you know, you're just not attacking anything because of rook b8, it's clear. But in this particular case, I just attacked the knight on c6. So I think black missed something here. And knight e4, c d4, rook b8, queen to c6 was possible. That was the plan, at least. Yeah. I'm satisfied with the results. So the question from prom night, why not queen b, knight a5? That is actually what happened here. So, nothing dangerous for white, I guess. Just extra pawn for nothing. Knight on e5 is amazing. Very strong piece. My queen is out of danger, can go home at any moment. For example, now I can just step back to c2. I'm also wondering what happens if I play knight to b3 now. I think it's more straightforward way to prove that. Black is very bad here. Alright, so a5 is our target, is our new precious thing. What we have to do is just to protect b3 here with the bishop c2, I guess, and then a5 will drop. They said that way, I mean, but it will drop. I believe in that. Yeah, bishop c2. a5 is under attack already. What I want to do as well is just to put my queen on c6 or something. I don't know. We'll see if it is really needed. I'm not sure. But in this case, I'm wondering if I can just take the knight and put my knight on d7. Like, 3 heavy pieces are under attack, I guess. Right? Right. Okay, so there is nothing to command. After knight to e5, I've created a threat of queen to b7, so black should have protected that pawn. Otherwise, it's just extra material. Flag of Catalonia, please, is the next. I'll accept that challenge. Playing with black pieces. That's probably the last game. It's probably the last game for this episode, and as I said, tomorrow there will be one more. Just check the schedule. Okay, Flag of Catalonia, are you still here? Imminent loss for you says that lol, his rating is 4 once. That's true. I think it was an intentional thing. My opponent is not responding. All right. Sorry, Flag. So here is one challenge from non-premium. It's against the rules. Here's Akiko, Magnin BKS. Okay, accept that challenge. And I'm playing with white pieces. That was a nice move, by the way. Thanks to Flag of Catalonia, I'm playing with white now. And here is Sicilian, exciting. For the last game, I think it's just what we need. Knight to c6, not very typical order of moves, actually. But probably absolutely valid. Probably absolutely valid. Alright, let's just step back. And what we have here is this... how to put it correctly. Just a dragon, anti-dragon, I mean, one of the anti-dragons here. And d6 is definitely not what I expected to see. Because it weakens a lot, but probably it's not a tragedy. A queen takes, well, d6 can be captured now, and I will do it with pleasure. It's so important. Well, first of all, I prevent black from castling right now. And the central pawn and the knight on c6 is hanging, and now I can play knight to c5, but then what happens then? That's a question. So knight to c5 is very tempting. With a threat of knight b7 and queen to d7, 2 threats. Rook d8 most likely, then queen goes to c7 attacking the bishop. Bishop probably goes to a8, which is bad, but again, probably not the end of the world for black. But on the other hand, if you don't play knight c5 in such a position, then why do you leave even? I think you shouldn't leave. You should just do something else. Bishop f8 after knight c5 led to queen d7 prom knight. So something is with your tactical vision tonight, I think. That's why you lost the game to me, I believe. Bishop f8, queen d7, checkmate, actually. So bishop f8 is not an exclamation mark. It's just 3 question marks. All right, let's just take that pawn. Let's just go home with a queen, I guess. It's time. So, I think this move should be played now. Just want to control d4 square, because I believe black's counterplay may be based on things like knight d4, bishop d4, so just stopping black from doing that. Now, obviously, I'm not against exchanging dark squared bishops, because first of all, black's dark squared bishop is a good defender of dark squares around the king. Second of all, it's a development move, right? What to do against lack of tactical vision? Just solve tactics more often, okay? That's it. So after you have learned all the tactical, motives and stuff, I mean the basics, the rest is just to train regularly. That's it. Der Henker says the same. So I guess we should make a deal. So if Der Henker is there, following the show, I don't have to annotate the things at all because he's literally saying exactly what I want to say. So I guess that's what we're going to do. In the nearest future. All right, so again, 46 seconds. I don't want to be flagged. I don't want to be flagged here. I don't want to die. What to do then? I mean, let's centralize the queen, right? Bishop c7 was suggested. Well, bishop d6 was also a move. Come on, we have 3 connected passers there. What we need to do is just to be careful, and should be lost for black somehow. Just to make sure we're not checkmated on the back rank at some point. Also, maybe creating some new targets on the king side. I have no idea. Let's see. It's important not to open the 8h1 diagonal as well. Maybe too risky, maybe just a checkmate. Now I think it's fine. Yeah, bishop f1, not to miss queen takes g2 with the checkmate. Exchanging bishops should be fine. Yeah, here we go. All right. Our connected passers will decide the game here. Let's just go closer and closer. Check. Yeah, lost for black, absolutely. The difference is that most of the time I'm much goofier than this, says Der Henker. All right. Yeah, what to say here? I mean, black played e6, which was probably fine. But after knight takes f6, of course, bishop takes f6 should be played, because pawn on d6 is way too important. Der Henker says, beautiful games today, Andrey. Thanks a lot. Lost a bit of rating, but who cares about that shitty rating, indeed. It's not what I'm here for, right? So the main idea is just to teach you something new. If you've learned something, then great. All right? So then see you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye-bye.